Beneath the endless expanse of the ocean, where the waves whispered secrets to the stars and the currents danced with an ancient rhythm, there lay a city that had long been forgotten. It was a place of stone and bronze, of myth and legend, its existence dismissed as a mere tale spun by sailors and dreamers. Yet, deep in the heart of the Pacific, there it remained, hidden beneath miles of cold, dark water, a silent testament to a civilization lost to time. For centuries, explorers had searched for it, drawn by the faintest whispers carried by the ocean breeze, but none had ever returned with proof. Some called it Atlantis, others named it the lost city of Lemuria, but to the few who had dared to venture into the depths, it was simply known as the Abyssal City. Professor Evelyn Cray had spent her life chasing the truth. An expert in underwater archaeology, she had studied the old maps and the vague references in ancient texts that spoke of a city beneath the ocean's surface. When she first began her research, many dismissed her as a fanatic, a woman consumed by a dream that belonged in the realm of fantasy. Yet, over the years, the evidence had grown. Strange, ancient artifacts had been found in remote areas of the sea floor, and mysterious stone formations, too perfect to be natural, had been discovered in the deepest trenches. But it wasn't until Evelyn and her team had found the old sunken shipwreck near the Mariana Trench that the final piece of the puzzle had fallen into place. The ship was not like anything the team had ever seen. It was massive, its hull carved with intricate designs of creatures unknown to modern science. The crew had unearthed relics that spoke of a civilization far older than any previously discovered. There were gold coins stamped with strange symbols, jewel-encrusted idols, and intricate pottery unlike anything found on land. But the most significant discovery was a set of blueprints, faded, worn, but unmistakable. They detailed a city unlike any human settlement, with towers that reached toward the sky and gardens that hung suspended over the ocean, teeming with exotic flora. The blueprints were the key. After months of research, Evelyn realized that the city described was real. The coordinates matched a cluster of underwater mountains that no ship had ever sailed close to, and sonar scans of the area revealed what appeared to be a massive structure lying dormant beneath the ocean floor. Evelyn assembled a team of experts, engineers, divers, and historians, and prepared for the expedition of a lifetime. Their goal was clear: to find the hidden city beneath the ocean and unlock its secrets. The expedition began in the heart of the Pacific, far from the bustling ports and crowded beaches. As their submersible descended into the deep, the sunlight gradually faded, replaced by an oppressive darkness that seemed to stretch on forever. The ocean around them was silent, save for the hum of the submersible's engines and the occasional crackle of static on the radio. "Depth, 200 meters, reported Lucas, the lead diver, his voice calm but laced with anticipation. He glanced at the sonar readings on the control panel. "We're getting close." Evelyn leaned over his shoulder, eyes fixed on the faint outlines of structures appearing on the sonar. They were still too far to make out clearly, but it was unmistakable: there was something down there, something far beyond the capabilities of nature. "Can you see anything?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper, as if the ocean might hear her. Lucas tapped a few buttons on the console, adjusting the sonar to give a clearer picture. "There," he said, pointing to the screen. "I think we've found it." The image slowly began to sharpen, and there it was, a city, sprawling across the ocean floor like a lost metropolis. Towering spires rose from the abyss, their surfaces smooth and reflective, as though they had been crafted from a material that defied both time and corrosion. The layout was organized in geometric patterns, with streets running in perfect alignment. Some of the buildings were partially collapsed, but others stood tall, their architectural style alien yet strangely familiar. "It's real," Evelyn breathed, awe in her voice. "This is it. This is the hidden city." The submersible crew fell silent as the enormity of their discovery sank in. The ocean around them seemed to hold its breath, as if watching them, waiting for something. The city was in a state of eerie preservation, untouched by the relentless pressures of the deep, its structures preserved like fossils in amber. But Evelyn knew that they could not stay in the submersible forever. It was time to explore, to uncover the secrets that lay hidden beneath the waves. She gave the order, and the crew began preparing the equipment for their descent into the city itself. The descent to the city was like a journey into the unknown, and Evelyn could feel the weight of it pressing down on her chest. The submersible's lights flickered as they neared the ocean floor, casting long, wavering shadows across the ruins. The city loomed just ahead, an ancient skeleton of stone and metal, its once vibrant colors muted by time and saltwater. Ready to deploy the drone, Lucas announced, his fingers moving swiftly over the controls. He glanced at Evelyn. "We'll be able to get a closer look from above." The small, autonomous drone shot out of its storage compartment like a bullet, its bright lights illuminating the dark water. The crew watched in silence as it hovered over the ruins, its cameras capturing every detail. The footage streamed onto the monitors inside the submersible. "I've never seen anything like this," muttered Marcus, the engineer. He was a man of few words, but his awe was palpable. "Look at those structures, they're unlike anything we have today. It's as if they were built to last forever." The drone's camera zoomed in on a cluster of buildings that seemed to defy logic, towers whose walls bent inward at impossible angles, creating structures that appeared to be alive, breathing with the currents. There were no windows, no doors, only smooth, seamless surfaces that glistened in the drone's light. "There's something odd about these shapes," Evelyn said, narrowing her eyes. "It's almost as if they were designed to absorb the water, to become one with the ocean itself." She leaned forward, scanning the images. "These aren't just buildings, they're an extension of the environment. We need to get down there." The submersible descended further, the cold, dark expanse of the ocean growing even more suffocating with each passing meter. The lights on the drone cast an eerie glow, revealing more of the city's strange architecture. As they drew closer to the surface of one of the towering structures, Evelyn could make out intricate patterns etched into the stone-like material. Symbols, ancient and foreign, ran along the surfaces in winding lines that almost seemed to move with the current, as if alive. "What do you think those symbols mean?" Lucas asked, his voice low and filled with curiosity. Evelyn stared at the markings, feeling an inexplicable pull in her chest. "I'm not sure. But they're definitely not anything I've seen before in ancient cultures. I've studied Sumerian, Egyptian, and even Minoan scripts, but this is something else." She rubbed her temples, trying to piece together the fragments of knowledge she had accumulated over the years. "It's almost like it's a language, not just written, but a living one." The drone continued to hover, capturing more data, when suddenly, a low rumble echoed through the submersible. It was a sound so deep, so reverberating, that it seemed to come from the core of the earth itself. "What was that?" Marcus asked, his voice tense. Evelyn's eyes flicked to the sonar. "Nothing on the readings. But there's definitely something down here. Something, moving." She was about to suggest they move further away when another tremor shook the submersible, and the drone's feed suddenly cut out. The screen went black. "Drone's gone," Lucas reported. "We lost it." "No." Evelyn exclaimed, the urgency in her voice rising. The last footage they'd captured was invaluable, and now it was gone. "We need to find it." But as she spoke, the rumbling grew louder. The walls of the city began to shift. A crack appeared in the stone-like surface of one of the towers, and through the widening gap, a dark shape began to emerge from within. "It's moving!" Lucas shouted, his eyes wide with disbelief. "Something's coming out." A massive, shadowy form began to materialize, its features still shrouded in darkness. It was long and serpentine, with what appeared to be vast, sweeping fins, as though it had adapted to the ocean's depths over millennia. The creature's shape twisted and curled, an ancient thing that had slumbered in the deep for eons. Evelyn's heart raced as she realized the truth. This city wasn't just a place of civilization, it was a sanctuary, a place of refuge for something far older than humanity itself. "That's no normal sea creature," she murmured, more to herself than anyone else. It's something else. Something that's been hidden here, waiting." Another tremor rocked the submersible, and the shadow seemed to draw closer, its glowing eyes now visible in the darkness. It was alive, and it was awake. The crew stared in stunned silence, the blood draining from their faces as the creature slowly unfurled, its bioluminescent eyes locking onto the submersible like twin lanterns in the abyss. Time seemed to stretch, suspended in the deep pressure of the ocean and the magnitude of their discovery. Evelyn felt the enormity of the moment hit her like a crashing wave. Every myth, every tale, every whisper of lost worlds and sea monsters, they had all led to this, "Back us up, now," Evelyn ordered, her voice tight with urgency. Lucas didn't hesitate. The engines were whirred as the submersible began to retreat, slow and cautious, careful not to provoke whatever ancient intelligence watched them from the shadows. But it was already too late for caution. The creature moved. It was a ripple at first, a subtle flex of its immense body that sent vibrations through the water. Then it launched forward, not in aggression, but with the fluid grace of something surveying its territory. As it passed near the ruins, the buildings responded. Lights, long dormant, flickered to life. A web of illumination spread across the city, pulsing in rhythmic sequence as if acknowledging the creature's presence. Evelyn watched in awe as the spires glowed with hues of deep emerald and blue, forming patterns, messages, perhaps written in a language of light and movement. "Is it controlling the city?" Marcus whispered, his knuckles white around the edge of the console. "No," Evelyn replied slowly, eyes fixed on the screen. "It is the city." The realization sent a chill through her. The architecture, the materials, the symbols, it wasn't just built for the ocean. It was born from it. The creature wasn't a guardian. It was a symbiotic extension of the city itself. The abyssal city had never been truly abandoned, it had merely been sleeping, waiting for the return of something it recognized. A deep tone reverberated through the water, not just a sound but a resonance that rattled their bones and filled the sub with an otherworldly frequency. Symbols on the ancient walls began to shift, as if activated by their presence. Evelyn leaned forward, transfixed by the patterns forming before her. "It's a message," she said, her voice shaking. "A greeting. Or a warning." The symbols formed into recognizable shapes, spirals, circles, fractals, designs mirroring those seen in the oldest cultures known to man. It was as if this civilization had seeded its knowledge across the world, leaving echoes of itself in the myths of Atlantis, Lemuria, and Mu. And now, it was speaking again, through light, through motion, through memory. "We need to go down there," Evelyn said suddenly. Lucas turned, startled. "Are you serious? That thing just woke up, and you want to get closer?" "We came here for answers," she replied. "And I think it's giving them to us." The team prepared quickly. Evelyn, Lucas, and Marcus donned advanced diving suits equipped for extreme depth, stepping into the chamber that would release them into the city. As the hatch opened, cold, pressurized water enveloped them, but the suits held firm. Their lights cut through the gloom as they descended, the city looming ever closer with its glowing spires and undulating walls. Touching down on the ocean floor was like stepping onto another world. The ground beneath them was covered in strange coral-like growths that shimmered faintly in their lights. The buildings, now alive with light, pulsed gently, as if welcoming them. Evelyn moved toward a central structure, a ziggurat-shaped building with a spiraling staircase etched into its exterior. The symbols here were clearer, the patterns more deliberate. As she reached out to touch one, it responded. The wall shimmered and changed, revealing a glowing panel beneath the surface. It's made of memory," she said. "This place, it remembers us." "Or something like us," Marcus murmured, scanning the area. "Maybe we're not the first." The creature moved in the distance, slowly circling the city like a sentinel. It showed no aggression, only awareness. As they explored, they discovered more panels, more devices that reacted to their presence. One chamber, hidden beneath a collapsed archway, revealed a vast mural, a depiction of beings not unlike humans, tall and luminous, standing alongside the sea creature, with stars drawn above their heads and swirling galaxies in the background. "This civilization," Evelyn whispered, "they weren't just from Earth. They were connected to something beyond. They were part of a cosmic lineage." Suddenly, the mural shifted, reacting to her words or her presence. A new image formed, one of collapse, of fire and water consuming the city, of the creature wrapping itself around the towers as the ocean reclaimed them. And then, silence. "They knew the end was coming," she said. "They sealed themselves away. Preserved their knowledge. Their guardian." Lucas stepped back. "And now we've disturbed it." A tremor passed through the ground again, but this time, it was softer, like a sigh. The lights dimmed slightly, then steadied. Evelyn turned to face the others, her voice quiet, resolute. We need to bring this knowledge back. But we also need to respect it. This place, it's not just an archaeological site. It's sacred. A monument to a species that understood the ocean in a way we never could. The creature moved once more, swimming past them, its glowing eyes meeting Evelyn's for a long moment. There was no malice in them, only ancient understanding. Then, it turned, vanishing into the darkness beyond the city walls, and the city, its lights fading, went to sleep once more.